keep it 100 because it's time for Hub's Huddle Podcast. Listen to the man that talks sports from football to basketball 24/7, 365. He is known as the average Joe that knows more than average about sports.
What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Hub.
What's up, everybody? It is Sunday, December 29th, 2019. We are back with another episode of Hub's Huddle. Got a lot to talk about today, guys. Of course, it's week 17 in National Football League. Exciting college football yesterday. The National Championship game has been set. You're going to get LSU, who put a beat down on Oklahoma. Man, that was ridiculous. And then also you're going to have Clemson beating Ohio State last night in a nice thriller. That right there was a good game. That game was the best game of the night. That LSU Oklahoma game was over like in the first quarter. So that stage is set for next Monday night. That right there's me for the national championship. LSU versus Clemson. Clemson is returning back to the championship game. They beat Alabama last year. I don't know, it might be LSU's year, y'all, but we're gonna find out next Monday night. Moving on, man. Anybody catch that fight last night? Gervonta Davis and Gamboa. Oh man, listen. Gamboa is a straight warrior. This dude fought on a ruptured Achilles for 12 rounds. Well, for 10 rounds. It happened in the second round when he got knocked down. He kept looking at his foot, and he kept going to his corner and basically saying like something was wrong with his foot. And come to find out, man, he had ruptured his Achilles, man. And just to be able to continue and show the heart of a champion, that right there, man, look, that dude is a warrior, man. Gervonta Davis they get the 12th round TKO. And as far as Tank goes, man, everybody knows, man, that kid is, like up and coming. My thing from last night was when I was watching the fight, I was sitting here and I was like, man, he doesn't look like he's in shape. I know he came in, overweight by like a pound, like 1.6 pounds during the weigh-in. Then he lost the extra, like 1.6 pounds within the allotted hour. And, he came out, but in like going to the late rounds, he was doing a lot of, like huffing and puffing. And I was sitting there, I was like, man, dude is not in shape, man. Like this wasn't his best performance. This was his first time going past the 9th round. But when they got into the later rounds, you seen that he was very tired. I don't know if it was because of the weight or what. I mean, it's his first fight at 135. The pop was there. He just wasn't letting his hands go as much. I do expect to see more in the future from Tank, as he, go on in this new other division that he's in. I mean, I ain't, like the dude is still dangerous. He's still, one of the best fighters out there today. My thing is, I know that he's, close to Floyd Mayweather, and I want to see if, Floyd, go ahead, or he talks to Floyd and him and Floyd come together and they get on, like that good, like training, program that, Floyd, showed over his time, all over his career, because you never seen Floyd tired in a fight, and it'd be crazy if he, if he can get together with Floyd and find out what Floyd do and become more dedicated in camp to his, conditioning, cardio. That dude is probably going to go down as one of the best. And I'm just going to say that right now. Like, he has all the tools. He just needs to, like get it together, with the cardio. But looking on, man, that was, a good knockout win for him last night. I thought it would be over, earlier. I thought, in the second round when he knocked him down, I'm thinking like maybe, by like the 4th round, he's going to get him up out of here. He ended up knocking Gamboa down total of three times. Like I said, man, Gamboa fought on a ruptured Achilles. That dude's a warrior, man. Shifting gears, man, to the National Football League. We are in week 17. Man, final week of the regular season. Next weekend begins the wild card weekend. We're going to talk about, playoffs and everything. Here's my phone getting alerts live on the show. But we're going to we're going to talk about, like the playoff implications and everything, possibility of who can get in, and all that. But first up, we're going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals at home taking on the Cleveland Browns. This one, of course, doesn't have anything to do with the playoff situation. It's more like for Cincinnati, it improves our chances of getting the number one pick. For Cleveland, I don't know, man. It's just it's a lot, man. I do like Joe Mixon in this one, for the Bengals. Also, the Browns got a good running attack with Chubb and Hunt. Maybe they're going to build on, get a win here today, and it can carry over, to the offseason and everything else. Don't know what the situation is going to be with Odell Beckham Jr. He said, that he wants to stay in Cleveland, but you know how that goes, fellas. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this thing goes when players that been stressing about wanting to get out, then they say all the right things. The next thing they end up traded. So who knows what's going to happen with that situation. As far as this game goes, I do like Cleveland in this one. I like them to close out the year with a win. You can give me Cleveland 27-24. I'm going to take them over the Bengals. And of course, the Browns also won 3 consecutive games over the Bengals. Let's make that 4. Next up, got the New England Patriots at home taking on the Miami Dolphins. AFC East divisional rivalry game. Patriots can clinch a first-round bye with a win. Of course, it'll be the second seed. And the crazy stat is New England has never made the Super Bowl without being either the 1 seed or the 2 seed. And New England's chances of winning the Super Bowl are greater at the 2 seed than it is the 1 seed. That's how crazy that is. The Patriots here, man, look, last week we seen them play the Bills last Saturday night. And my thing is, man, I seen a lot of what the Patriots can do, and it seemed like they kind of found what their offense is going to be like. They ran the ball effectively, and the crazy part is when Sony Michel gets 60 yards of offense, running the ball, the Patriots are undefeated. And I think the recipe for the day is to run the ball. I know Sony Michel is questionable today with an illness, so who knows if he's going to play. Maybe we'll see Harris, get another go today. But as far as this game goes, like I said, Miami's always a tough opponent for New England. I expect it to be, like Fitzpatrick, but it seems like Belichick always have a plan in place for Ryan Fitzpatrick. So, over the years, he basically, turned Fitzpatrick's aggressiveness against him, which means that it leads to interceptions and turnovers, fumbles and that kind of thing. So let's see what's going to happen today. They are playing at home. If they played in Miami around this time of the year, I would be like, you know what? The Dolphins got a serious chance of knocking off New England today, but I don't see that happening at home. I think New England going to close out the show 30-17 and get ready for, the divisional round matchup, whoever they play after wild card weekend. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Now, the Vikings here, they already locked up the 6th seed. So basically, they don't have to play for anything today. I doubt we're going to see the starters, at all. If we do, it'll be a limited. That's why I'm picking the Bears today. I do like Chicago 17-14. I feel like, Minnesota's going to rest up their guys and get ready for next week. They're going to be on the road looking like they might be heading to New Orleans, depending on how things shake out today. So, they are the 6th seed. So whoever lands in the 3rd seed spot in the NFC, that's who, Minnesota will be playing. Next up, we got the at home Kansas City Chiefs are home taking on the LA Chargers. Now, this is a sneaky game because, the Chargers, they are healthy, but they're not playing for anything. Kansas City has to win today, because if Kansas City ends up losing it, say if they lose today and they drop to 11-5, and say if the Texans win today and they move to 11-5, Kansas City will become the 4th seed in the AFC. So which means they're going to draw, Buffalo. Buffalo's already locked into that 5th seed. So that'd be a tough game for them. Looking at this, though, I mean, like I said, the Chiefs, also, they got an opportunity. If New England happens to lose today and the Chiefs win today, they end up with the same record, and the Chiefs will be the 2nd seed. So I expect, Andy Reid to keep these guys in and also monitor what New England is doing against, Miami, to dictate whether he's going to pull his guys or not. So I do expect to see, like the Chiefs playing today. They are playing for something here, more so with the Chargers who are out, basically more like prize, divisional game, and there'll be nothing sweeter for them to go ahead and knock off, Kansas City and send them into like the 4th seed if Houston wins the day against the Titans. I do like the Chiefs, though. I like it close. I like them 31-24 over the Chargers. Next up, you got the New York Jets traveling to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills up in Orchard Park, New York. So basically, like I just said, man, the Bills are already locked into the 5th seed. Basically nothing to play for. So I look like they're going to be resting their guys. So hey, you're going to see Matt Barkley today for Buffalo. So I'm picking the Jets. The Jets are going to come in with their starters. Like I said, divisional game. They're going to play for something. The Bills don't really have to play for anything. They can just relax and get their guys, ready for, next week. You might see them in there for maybe a series or two. Maybe they play a quarter or a half, and then you'll see the backups in. That's if they even play at all. But I do like the Jets today. Give me a score 20-17. Next up, you got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Lions. This one right here, man. So this is another game where, we got, playoff implications here, and the Packers can move into the 1st seed, possibly. So, I mean, it's a lot that can really, take place here. It just, plus they can still clinch the first round bye, so they have to play today. They got to win. Or, New Orleans got to lose. It's like I said, I'm going to break that part now at the end of my pick so we'll understand where we're at. But as far as this game go, it's going to be too much Packers today. I think, they're going to go get the W 30-10 over the Lions. Next up, you got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte to take on the Panthers. We didn't see much from Will Greer's start last week for the Panthers. Man, let's see. We're going to see, the Saints going to come in, loaded up, ready to roll. Divisional game for those guys. But, like I said, the Saints got a lot to play for. So, you expect them starters in. Crazy part is they had Antonio Brown in on Friday for a workout. And from what I'm hearing, they're not going to sign AB. I'm talking about the Saints. And apparently AB came in with an entourage and with a camera crew. Somebody get my boy some help, man. I tell you, man, and we don't know what his situation is. Even if he is signed, he could get, on the exempt list, but he can also appeal that. So you never know what's going to happen. And, if somebody will pick him up, or maybe they're going to pick him up looking towards the 2020 season. But back to this game, I do like the Saints. Give me a score of 30-20 over the Panthers. Like I said, the Saints got something to play for, or it might come down to a point in the game where, Sean Payton decides to pull his guys, and then you see, Teddy Bridgewater take the field. So who knows what's going to happen today? That's the for fantasy football purposes, that for the teams that are still playing in this week, also for the DraftKings purposes, you really don't know who's going to be in the full game or not. So it's kind of hard to pick, what guys you want to put in, for your game. So that's just a little note for you guys who playing in DraftKings today. I am, so hopefully, the guys that are in my lineup are playing the full game. Next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. Both teams are not really playing for anything today. It's just a divisional game, so it's just bragging rights at this point. The Bucs are expected to bring back Jameis Winston next year, with a franchise tag. So I think he's looking for like $30 million a year. That's crazy. And also the Falcons, they're going to retain Dan Quinn and also Thomas Dimitroff, who was the general manager in 2020. So, the Falcons, they're still going to be there with their head coach, their GM. They're just going to look to build more around Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. As far as this game goes, man, I'm going to pick the Falcons. I do like them in this one, but look, watching Tampa Bay is very crazy watching Jameis Winston because he's gonna come out, he's gonna throw a pick, but then at the pick he end up balling out, which is crazy. I think it's gonna be like a shootout in this one. I'm gonna pick the Falcons in this one though. I like them 30-27. The Falcons have won 5 of their last 6 games versus Tampa Bay. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. Now, this one I've been wrestling with for, the past couple of days because I feel like, after Philadelphia won last week against Dallas and the celebration was a little bit too premature out there on the field, and I was sitting back saying they still got to win one more to actually punch that ticket to get into the playoffs. So, Philly can clinch today's game with a win or with a Dallas loss. They're playing the Redskins, and both of these games are at the same time. They're both at 4:25, so I'm quite sure in both of these stadiums the score is going to be up so they can see who is doing what and where. Philadelphia just has to win. I think it's going to be I'm going to go on a limb and just say, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia lost today to the Giants. I'm saying it because, a lot of people are already putting them in the playoffs. A lot of people are already punching that ticket, especially in this area. Like I said, I live in this area, and the notion around here is that, look, we're already in. We just don't want, we just don't want Seattle to beat the 49ers tonight because we don't want to see San Fran coming in, wild card weekend in our house. We'd rather have Seattle. That's the whole notion. It's not like, we got to take care of the Giants and then, hey, we're in and, we're going to go on from there. But in football terms, Philadelphia's been playing better. I think it's going to be another close game. I think it's going to be a 1-point game. I'm giving Philadelphia the win 24-23. over the Giants up there in MetLife Stadium. Next up, we got the NRG Stadium, Houston Texans welcoming in the Tennessee Titans divisional game. All these divisional games today is nice. This game, man, look, Titans win, they're in. Texans, if they win, they maintain the 3rd seed. They're going to maintain they have to win to remain that. They are the 4th seed. I'm sorry. So basically, if Kansas City already won, they probably won't play their starters, and the Titans will go ahead and get in the playoffs. So basically, that's what that is. It's 4:25, so they'll determine who's what. Bill O'Brien said they are playing to win today. You're supposed to say that. You're the head coach, but this game, I like the Titans because I feel like the Chiefs are going to win today. And the Texans are just going to be like, okay, well, we're just locked into the 4th seed, so we'll go on from there. So I like the Titans today, 30-27. I think they punched their ticket into the playoffs today. Next up, we got the Cowboys against the Redskins in Arlington, Texas, NFC East divisional game. It's crazy, man. The Cowboys, man, all that talent, and they're better than what they are. On paper, they're like one of the best teams in the league, but in reality, they just haven't played up to it. The Cowboys have won 6 of their last 7 games against the Redskins. I think it's going to be more of the same, man. I got the Cowboys today, 30-24. For some odd reason, if Philadelphia happens to lose today to the Giants and the Cowboys win, then the Cowboys are in. They're going to be the 4th seed. But just thinking about it, I don't see it happening. I think Philly wins. I think the Cowboys wins today, but I think the Eagles going to get in the playoffs. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Steelers. We already know Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson is going to be on the bench. So that means Robert Griffin III gets to get the start today against the Steelers. But, they're still going to play their defense. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, so, Pittsburgh, they have to win, and they got to hope that, the Titans lose so they can get in. So, I'm just going to pick the Ravens. It's a coin toss because it's kind of hard. I feel like, the Titans are going to win today. Steelers basically are playing for the playoffs, but, their hopes are on, the Texans can beat the Titans and they win. So, I don't know, man. I'm just going to roll with the Ravens. I'm going to take them since they're at home, 20-17 over the Steelers. Next up, at the Indianapolis Colts, traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Nothing to play for here, just a divisional game. Bragging rights in their own right. Gardner Minshew Mania versus Jacoby Brissett. The Colts look promising early in the year, man. The Colts did win, 2 of their last 3 games versus the Jaguars. I think the Colts are going to end off the season 8-8. I give them the win here today, 27-20 over the Jaguars. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos at home, welcoming in the Oakland Raiders for the final time. I believe they're Oakland Raiders. I think next year they move to Vegas. It's another game, man. It's like, the Raiders got an outside shot of getting into the playoffs if Titans lose and also the Steelers lose, I believe. But that ain't gonna happen. I mean, they're going a mile high. I got the Broncos winning. The Raiders lost 8 straight games in week 17. Maybe today's the day that it changes, but I don't think so. We're going to increase that to 9, man. Give me the Broncos, man, 17-14. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in L.A. to take on the Los Angeles Rams. And what happened to the Rams? It's crazy. Last year, they were, top seed going in, went to the Super Bowl. Now this year, 8-7. Oh man. Goodness. The Rams have won 5 straight versus the Cardinals. Like I said, maybe they're building on for next year. They got Jalen Ramsey. Who knows what happened with that? They're going to ink him, do a longer deal, which they should. You can't just use the guy for a year of rental, especially with all that you gave up. I don't believe they have a first-round pick for the next couple of years, probably. I think all the different dealings and trades that they done did, I don't know. So don't know if Kyler Murray is going to play today, so it look like Brett Hundley probably be in the lineup for the Cardinals. I'm going to just roll with the Rams in this one. I think it's 30-24. I think the Rams get the job done in their season 9-7. And up next, we have a heavyweight championship fight in the NFC West for the NFC West division title. You got the San Francisco 49ers coming in town to take on the Seattle Seahawks in the 12th man. Seahawks have won 10 of their last 11 games versus the 49ers. This is the big Sunday night matchup, 8:20 NBC for the NFC West title. This will determine if San Fran wins, overall number 1 seed. Hey, we going from there. This one, of course, Seattle beat San Fran a couple weeks ago, in Levi Stadium. But I think this one, man, Seattle went out and got, Turbin back. They went out and got Marshawn Lynch back. So these guys be in a lineup tonight, going up against this 49ers defense. My thing is here, Jimmy Garoppolo has to expose this Seattle Seahawks secondary. We all know they got a good, upfront rush with Jadeveon Clowney and company, but Jimmy Garoppolo has to get this pass game moving for San Fran to get the win today. I am going to pick San Fran tonight. I like San Fran 34-30 over the Seahawks. So these are my picks for Week 17. And wait, last week I went 10-6, y'all. So that moved my season total to 149-90-1. Pretty good, man. So to go over my picks for this week, I got the Browns over the Bengals, the Patriots over the Dolphins, the Bears over the Vikings, the Chiefs over the Chargers, the Jets over the Bills, the Packers over the Lions, the Saints over the Panthers, Falcons over Buccaneers, Eagles over Giants, Titans over Texans, Cowboys over Redskins, Ravens over Steelers, Colts over Jaguars, Broncos over Raiders, Rams over Cardinals, 49ers over Seahawks to end off Week 17 as we move to Wild Card Weekend, which is next Saturday. Now let's look at these clinching scenarios. So as we look at it right now, the way the whole playoff seedings are looking at, we look at the AFC. You're looking at the Ravens. They are the number 1 seed. That's already locked in. They're 13-2. The whole AFC runs through Baltimore. The number 2 seed is the New England Patriots at 12-3. They are the 2 seed. If they win today, they clinch the second seed. They get the first round bye. You lose and the Chiefs win, then you both got the same record, and the Chief will go ahead and get the second seed today. The third seed in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're at 11-4. The 4th seed is the Houston Texans at 10-5. The 5th seed, that's already locked. They can't move anywhere else. The Buffalo Bills at 10-5. And the 6th seed for now, depending on what the Titans do, Steelers and the Raiders do, the Tennessee Titans are the 6th seed at 8-7. In the hunt for the AFC is the Steelers at 8-7, and also the Oakland Raiders at 7-8. Like I said, the Titans has to, win to lock in. That's their 6th seed. If they lose and the Steelers win, Steelers move in. If the Titans and Steelers both lose, Oakland wins, Oakland moves in. Over here in the NFC, we got the number 1 seed right now is the San Francisco 49ers at 12-3. Then the number 2 seed at 12-3 is the Green Bay Packers. San Fran has the head-to-head over Green Bay. This is why the 49ers are the number 1 seed for now. Moving down to the 3rd seed, the New Orleans Saints. They're also 12-3. And also, the way we look at it is, the 49ers got the head-to-head over the Saints. They got the head-to-head over the Packers. The Saints and the Packers, they look at strength of schedule. So the Saints are the 3rd seed. The 4th seed right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. That can change if they lose and the Cowboys win. The 5th seed is the Seattle Seahawks. Big game tonight, determining the NFC West title. That can change if the Seattle Seahawks win. And the 6th seed is the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are locked into the 6th seed. They can't go anywhere. That's why I picked the Bears today to win. In the hunt for the NFC is the Dallas Cowboys. We all know that situation. And now let's look at the clinching scenarios. The clinching scenarios is, okay, now we look at the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens are the AFC North Division champs, and they have home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. The Houston Texans are the AFC South Division champs. The Kansas City Chiefs are the AFC West Division champs, and the New England Patriots are the AFC East Division champions. Buffalo Bills clinched their playoff berth. Like I said, they're locked into that 5th seed. That's just the way it is. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Kansas City Chiefs can clinch a first-round bye with a win and a New England loss. New England can clinch a first-round bye with a win or tie, or Kansas City lose or tie. So the Oakland Raiders. Oakland can clinch a playoff berth with an Oakland win plus a Pittsburgh loss plus a Tennessee loss plus an Indianapolis win. So Oakland would clinch a strength of victory tiebreaker over Pittsburgh. Oakland clinches strength of victory tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, if one of the following teams win or tie: Chicago, Detroit, the Chargers, or New England. Man, it gets wild. That's why I like it. The Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens today. Pittsburgh clinches a playoff berth with a Pittsburgh win plus a Tennessee loss or tie, or a Pittsburgh tie plus a Tennessee loss, or a Tennessee loss plus an Indianapolis win plus an Oakland loss or tie, or a Tennessee loss, an Indianapolis win, Pittsburgh ties Oakland in strength of victory tiebreaker. Pittsburgh ties Oakland in strength of victory tiebreaker if all of the following teams win: Minnesota, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Miami. Next up, Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans clinches a playoff berth with a win. They win, they're in. Or if they tie plus a Pittsburgh loss or tie, or Pittsburgh loss and Indianapolis loss or tie. There you go. So that's your clinching scenarios for the AFC. Now moving on to the NFC, we have our NFC South Division champs, or New Orleans Saints. The NFC North is the Green Bay Packers. The West is still up for grabs, and also the NFC East is up for grabs. So, but the teams that got the playoff berths automatically are the Saints, the Packers, the Vikings, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. Now you look at the Dallas Cowboys. They got the Washington Redskins today. Dallas clinches the NFC East division with a Dallas, they have to win today plus a Philadelphia loss. They have to lose to the Giants. The Green Bay Packers. Now the Packers can clinch a first round bye with a win, or a New Orleans loss, or a Green Bay tie and San Francisco loss, or a Green Bay tie plus New Orleans tie. Green Bay clinches home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with a Green Bay win, San Francisco loss or tie, or a Green Bay tie plus San Francisco loss plus a New Orleans loss or tie. Now, you got New Orleans. They can clinch a first round bye with a New Orleans win plus a Green Bay loss or tie. Number 2, they can go in with a New Orleans win plus a San Francisco loss or tie. A New Orleans tie plus a Green Bay loss, or New Orleans tie plus a San Francisco loss, or San Francisco loss plus a Green Bay win or tie. New Orleans can clinch home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with New Orleans win plus a Green Bay loss or tie plus a San Francisco loss or tie, or a New Orleans tie plus a Green Bay loss plus a San Francisco 49ers loss. The Philadelphia Eagles, who have the New York Giants today, they can clinch the NFC division with a Philadelphia win if they win today, or tie, or if Dallas lose or tie. So, that's pretty much it. The 49ers, like I said, they got the heavyweight title fight tonight against Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco can clinch the NFC West division with a win or a tie tonight. San Francisco can clinch a first round bye with a win or San Francisco or a tie plus a Green Bay loss or tie, or a tie plus a New Orleans loss or tie. San Francisco can clinch home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with a win, or a tie plus a Green Bay loss or tie plus a New Orleans loss or tie. Seattle Seahawks, it's the final team. They can clinch the NFC West division with a Seattle win tonight. Seattle clinches a first round bye with a win plus a Green Bay loss. Seattle clinches home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with a win plus a Green Bay loss and also a New Orleans loss. So that's our whole playoff picture breakdown. An exciting day of football to see who's in, where the seeding is going to go, who's in, who's going to be left out. The teams that could possibly be left out is Titans, or the Steelers, or the Raiders, or the Cowboys, or the Eagles. So that's what we're doing today. NFL Week 17 picks are in. If you guys noticed the new clarity of this, I got a new mic. It's awesome, and I feel it. I can hear myself talking, and it sounds so crisp and clear. But that's it for me today, guys. You all enjoy this Week 17 NFL matchups. Final week of the regular season is already here upon us. Next week we kick off with the wild card weekend, and I'll be back next Saturday to talk wild cards and give a playoff prediction, man. You all know my regular season prediction, and it's looking like it's going to be, in the trash can because I picked the Cowboys and the Patriots, and it looks like the Cowboys might not even make the playoffs, so we gonna see. But that's it for me today, guys. If you guys are on Instagram, follow me at Hubs Huddle. Facebook Hubs Huddle, Twitter Hubs Huddle. This podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, many other podcast platforms. Just Google Hubs Huddle into your Google search engine, and it'll show up everywhere I'm at. I really appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you for all the new listeners that have joined the show, and all the comments that I'm getting on my Instagram page as of late. I appreciate it. The interaction with you guys is awesome. Like I said, see my pics, hear my pics, see my pics on Instagram. Let me know your thoughts, man. You agree, disagree, or hey, it is what it is, man. It's all good. Like I said, last week I finished 10-6. With my overall record at 149, 90-1. Man, maybe I'll go all 16-0 today. That'd be awesome. Until next time, y'all be safe, be blessed, and enjoy this week 17 of the NFL. Until next time, it's your boy Hub, and I'm out. Peace.